Hello, welcome to Clockwise. My name is Providence Essien. Clockwise is produced by Netisens ICT. Yes, the biggest ICT hub in Akwa Ibom State. This Clockwise podcast focuses on the tech world, its advantages, the various in-demand skills that can give you a tech advantage to earn in dollar and to spend in naira. Yes, today we'll continue with our previous conversation, which was on AI, and our cybersecurity expert, who is currently on a project on artificial intelligence, is our in-house guest. But you'll meet him after this break. All right, welcome back. As I said earlier, our cybersecurity experts, one with evidence and with results, will be discussing on artificial intelligence and the relationship between artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. Please give a virtual round of applause to Mr. Yenekbun Ekanem. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me once again.
You're always our regular in-house guest, from cybersecurity to artificial intelligence. Now, please tell us, what is the correlation? What is the similarities? What is the attracting force between cybersecurity and artificial intelligence?
Okay, so the relationship between cybersecurity and artificial intelligence is that artificial intelligence actually help cybersecurity professionals to do their work faster, better, and more accurately.
Okay.
For instance, even for an entry-level cybersecurity professional, like a cybersecurity analyst, one of your main job is going to be like monitoring security incidents logs. And so this is something that can actually be done efficiently, more cost-effectively, more accurately by an AI tool.
Okay.
Even though we have SIM tools that are, like security information and event management tools that actually helps us to visualize these security events. We can still use AI tools to monitor at a closer, in a more accurate way. For example, you have it on your dashboard, but think about it. If, let's say, you are distracted, you as the security person that is monitoring, you are distracted, something could happen.
Okay.
But an AI tool will monitor it every single second and immediately escalate incidences of interest or events of interest. Let me use the word events. Events of interest, based on the training it has gotten. So cybersecurity actually benefits so much from AI.
So what you're trying to say is that AI is making the job of a cybersecurity
very way easier
than before.
And so it actually, let me use the word. It actually does the heavy lifting for security professionals.
Does it mean to reduce the number of persons that will be playing the role of a cybersecurity
Definitely.
expert?
The reality is that cybersecurity roles, there are certain cybersecurity roles that will be taken over by AI. The important thing is, even for me as a security professional, I always try to, when I'm talking with my colleagues, I tell them, look, there is no need for you to get stuck at the level of monitoring in security events.
You have to evolve.
You have to not just evolve, but you have to understand how to use AI tools to do the job for you.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, even at this point,
and there are no penalization for actually employing AI tools to do security jobs.
The point is that you should know that in a company, this is a business. Nobody cares how you do it.
We just get the job done.
Get the result. If you come and post efforts, someone else comes and posts results. Of course, you know that the person that is posting results will get a better edge over you.
Okay.
So the important thing is for you to know how to leverage AI tools to carry out your security tasks.
What roles would AI actually, should I say, take over? What roles in cybersecurity?
Well, obviously the entry-level roles. For example, like the security analyst roles. Okay. Because the fact is that, like as a security analyst, what you do is you literally monitor security logs, event logs, and escalate to you can, a SOC analyst, security operation center analyst, who will look at it and see whether it's something that is really of interest. So if it's of interest, then he or she will escalate it to the relevant department, that should handle department under cybersecurity that should handle it. But that primary role of just monitoring the logs is something that if an AI tool of today can do it.
Is it good for the profession?
It's good for the profession. The fact is that it will allow us to actually track incidences or events
so you're trying to
better.
say that AI is more accurate and precise?
Obviously, an AI would be more accurate.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. Even at the moment, we use Python as a program to do repetitive tasks.
Okay.
We use Python to, for example, apart from monitoring logs, we also do assignment of privileges.
Okay.
For example, a senior manager has more privileges than someone that is just an entry-level person. So assigning those privileges are still part of the functions of a security, a security professional. Those rules or monitoring, for example, if there are, let me use an example. If you have like 5 login attempts under 1 minute,
okay,
for instance, that is not likely a human that is trying to do login, Abi. It's most likely a bot that is trying to log in.
Yeah.
Good. So those are things that you would want. We already have systems in place, automated systems that are in place to either throw out that bad actor, or block his or her IP address or some other, or remove them from the system. Those functions are actually being taken. You can write programs that can actually execute those functions. So now we can actually use cybersecurity to literally take those decisions. For example, if you have a DDoS attack, which is a situation where an attacker actually overwhelms your server with so much fake traffic, so that it overwhelms your server and literally blocks out the genuine traffic from coming in. Sometimes they do that to be able to make the system to be vulnerable so they can now launch an attack. Okay, so a DDoS incident, you might have, for example, you might configure your firewall to block out certain footprints or certain attackers with certain footprints. What if a zero-day attack happens? A zero-day attack means that an attack that is new, that you don't have a reference point to train your, to configure your firewall to prevent such an attack. It's an AI tool that will quickly notice and can notice that, look, this is not normal. Even though it's not like there, it's not something that is written on concrete. It's hard coded, but it can, by learning, because an AI tool also learns.
Okay.
Do you understand? It also learns
through a process.
Yeah, it learns through a process. An AI tool will know, for example, the volume of traffic that comes to this particular website at a certain time of the day, and if it's supposed to be, for example, in the night, let's say, for instance, and then a certain volume of traffic that is not normal comes in, an AI tool will easily notice and take a decision to do what? To block that particular source of traffic.
Are you trying to say that AI has brought revolution to cybersecurity because of AI is now removing the human factor, the human, should I say, disadvantages like fatigue, like inaccuracy?
Yes.
So now AI is a great revolution to cybersecurity.
It's not just to cybersecurity. It's to everything around tech, even beyond tech. Because
so what will be the future of cybersecurity if AI can actually play certain roles?
So let me give you an example. When tractors came in among farmers, people were shouting, "Oh, it will take off our jobs. It will take away our jobs." But today, tractors are like a given in agriculture.
Yes.
Mechanization in general is a given in agriculture.
Yes.
So I see cybersecurity as something that has come in to actually help us do our work better. Unfortunately, it's not just helping us as cybersecurity professionals. It's also helping the attackers. because the attackers can simplify.
Or they can also employ AI.
Yeah, of course. They are also employing AI to do their jobs. So an attacker, what would take an attacker maybe 3 hours to do, he's now able to do it in less than 10 minutes or thereabout. So we as cybersecurity professionals have to leverage AI to be able to do these jobs, to be able to kind of advance.
If not,
level of
criminals will actually leverage
if the criminals leverage the AI and we don't leverage the AI, then it's a problem. That's why, remember the last time I was here, I told you that when you talk about regulation in AI, I don't want people to regulate AI so much so that the people, the good guys, are not able to push the frontiers of AI, while the bad guys are pushing that, leveraging AI to its limits. They would definitely be able to overpower the good guys, no matter how you try, if you are limited based on regulation. So regulation should actually, what I said there is that AI actually allows both the security professionals and the threat actors to improve the efficiency, to improve the accuracy. In fact, to generally improve the way they respond to incidents or carrying out threat.
What is really machine learning in AI? What is machine learning?
Machine learning in AI is the ability so I could call it. Let me say machine learning is a subset of AI that talks about the ability of machines or computers to follow patterns, to learn patterns. You understand? For example, I talked about you having, maybe you've been watching a particular video on YouTube. Comic video. Over time, the YouTube algorithm will learn by the principle of machine learning, by process of machine learning, will learn to suggest. You will learn the kind of videos that you like to watch, and then anytime you're coming on the app, it will actually present you with those videos, believing that those are the videos you most likely want to watch. So that's the process of machine learning. Yes, but machine learning also has subsets. For example, you have deep learning. Deep learning is a more, where you have a more advanced level of, so you have new, kind of AI tools that have neural networks. Yes, that are able to.
Is it like neurons, like the brain?
Yes, they kind of imitate the human brain. So this actually allows the tool to take decisions. To take decisions based on parameters it's been trained with. So it's not just about the data set it's been trained with, but while it is operating, it is actually ingesting data. For example, if an AI, for example, let me use an example like ChatGPT. Even when you talk to ChatGPT, ChatGPT is learning. For example, GPT 3.5, the cutoff date is what is the cutoff date is actually September of 2021. Good. But do you know that you can actually train the language model with incidences that happened later on, and it will use that to in later conversations you have with that model. So that is the process. So machine learning is not just the data set that's been trained with originally as a foundation model, but the data or the information that you feed it with going forward.
Now, what's the difference between machine learning and that you've discussed about, and what they call, is it language model?
Language model. So under deep learning, when you talk about deep learning, you now have what we call generative AI.
What is generative AI?
Generative AI is a form of AI that generates new content, new and unique content.
Is it more advanced than the machine learning?
So yes, it's advanced because it actually it's a subset. Though, but it actually generates new content. For example, you can literally train the language model, what I call a language model, language, because it actually eventually mimics human language. So, for example, instead of, you can literally converse with it like your human language. So, through the process of natural language processing. So you can actually get input prompt in terms of human language, in form of human language, and also give output in form of human language. Yes. So that is why it's called generative AI. Or a language model. So a language model is a form of generative.
Used?
Yes. So ChatGPT, for example, is a generative. It's a language model. It's a form of generative AI.
No, somebody said something that AI has not come to steal our jobs, but the person that can use AI has come to take your job.
Yes.
And we're going to continue on that conversation after this short break. Welcome back. Welcome back. Now, like as I said before the break, somebody actually said, I can't pinpoint the person's name now. He said, AI has not come to steal your job, but the man that can use AI has come to steal your job. And I tend to relate to what you've said. When we're using, should I say, smaller tools or implements to actually do agriculture. You understand? People go to farm with hoe and with machete and the rest of it. And the man that could operate the tractor got all of them their jobs, replaced all of them with tractor. Is that what will happen?
Yes. So, for instance, companies are now...
Like if 10 people are doing a particular job, and somebody that can use AI will just come and take the job off the 10 persons.
Okay, so here is the deal. Let me give some flesh to that. So, companies now are now preferring tech experts or tech talents that have some background on prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is a system, a way of the capacity to speak with or communicate with
machines,
with language models.
Language models, okay.
Yes. So if you now currently, if you have experience in prompt engineering, yes, of you have the skill of prompt engineering.
Is it a technical skill? Do you code?
It's not coding. It's the ability to converse. Like I told you, the language model.
Okay, if I can use ChatGPT, am I a prompt engineer?
No. Well, it's a part of prompt engineering, but prompt engineering is, a lot of people use ChatGPT just, okay, for example, what is let's just say, what is science? Do you understand?
Okay.
It definitely will give you an output. But prompt engineering is the skill of prompting a language model to give you precise answers to certain questions. So a company actually, some prompt engineering are earning as much as $330,000 a year.
Wow.
You can imagine, if companies are paying that amount, then that should tell you that there is value in prompt engineering.
Okay, they're making the jobs easier.
Yes, they're making the jobs easier. So for example, a prompt engineer can actually develop prompts that will allow people to interact with the language model in a more result-oriented way.
Is that the specific job?
For example, you could have people in your staff, engineers, junior engineers, that want to interact with, that actually do coding. So, for example, instead of you having to rely on them to, think about prompts they will use to interact with the language model, let's say you have an enterprise model that you're working with, then you can actually have a prompt engineer develop tailor-made prompts based on the data set that was used to train the language model. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have customer service representatives in your company. Good. And then these are customer-facing roles. Now, you already have a proprietary language model in your organization that you've trained with your company's knowledge base. Now, you need a prompt engineer to develop prompts, tailor-made prompts, that will allow your customer service representatives to prompt the language model based on the customer complaint to give, they will be able to prompt the language model to give precise answers to the customer, complaints.
Okay.
Do you understand? Rather than
Employing
rather,
a
rather, rather than
customer
relying on the customer representative to think of how to kind of figure out how do I converse with the language model to prove to pull up the kind of information that will be relevant to this person, this customer. Do you understand? So you can actually develop prompts. Now,
prompt engineering the new oil.
Prompt engineering is the new, very in-demand tech skill. Very soon, in fact, as a matter of fact, all of us will be one day become prompt engineers. Okay. Just like a lot of people know reasonably how to do Google search. Now you don't really need to have a computer science degree to know how to do a Google search. Yeah. Good. Very soon, people will know how to. Over time, they will get to learn how to do prompt engineering. But at a very professional level, you want to rely on somebody that understands. You don't just write prompts, general prompts. You have to write prompts that are targeted, because there's something called hallucination, which is a process by which a language model generates output that are false, that are not correlated with what is being trained with. Yeah. And that is one of the key reasons why hallucination occurs, is when there is paucity of information, or the prompt is not well targeted, is so broad-based, But when you have targeted prompts, precise prompts, the possibility of hallucination is reduced. Okay. That is why prompt engineering itself is actually a skill set that is going to be very, very lucrative. In fact, it's already very lucrative, but in the future, it will be ridiculously lucrative.
Like, how can it be learned? It's just an area of tech?
Yes. No, it's not even an area of tech.
It's what?
It's actually an area of, let me call, engineering.
Now,
the thing is that when you talk about engineering, people think
when
tech.
You talk engineering, you're talking about something that is technical, mathematical, calculative, and the rest of it. Now, security. When you talk about tech in engineering, you're talking about coding, talking about languages. What is prompt engineering?
I even told you, even in cybersecurity, unlike what people think, cybersecurity, even people there are some aspects of cybersecurity that you will not even have to write a single line of code.
Okay, you don't write code in
prompt engineering? Yes, in prompt engineering, you don't write code. You can literally become a prompt engineer. You can, let me put it this way. You can literally become very good at prompting without writing code. So prompt engineering, like I say, is how to talk to a language model. Okay. But since this language model understands natural language, human language, so you don't need to write codes. You don't need to prompt it with codes. You prompt it with natural language. So prompt engineering doesn't necessarily
use English language.
You use English language to
prompt.
Would
there be a time we are going to use Ibibi or Efik?
Well, when you have a language model that has been trained to use to actually, because actually language models can literally translate.
But it can be a discovery for somebody.
No, language model can actually translate. For example, you can actually feed a language model with a particular text and tell it to translate it to French. It will do that almost flawlessly.
What do you feel are the challenges of AI in Africa? Especially in Nigeria.
Okay, so the major challenge would be it runs off of electricity. Okay. So when you don't even have electricity, you can't even talk about that.
Does it mean that it will take very long for Africa to actually
latch onto
themselves?
Okay, so that's the challenge. The reality is that you need to have this actually runs on GPUs. Okay. GPUs are very, very powerful processors. Like in our computers use what we call CPUs, central processing units. This one are graphics. So it's actually a more. Let me put it this way: CPUs actually process things one after another. Okay. But GPUs process things simultaneously. That's why a language model does not read text line by line. Okay. A language model reads text everything at once. So it gets that's why you can feed it with like so much information, and it will be able to pick the right response, the right output in a split second. Do you know why? Because it actually takes a snapshot of the entire content, and then it immediately contextualizes what you want, the text itself. You know, if you're human, if you are reading, let's say, a novel, you literally need to read from the first page to almost the last page to get the context of the novel. But and that takes time. But a language model ingests everything at once, so it can immediately get the context and give you an output almost instantaneously. So that is exactly what it is.
Okay, now what do you see as this chat GPT we're talking about? What does it mean first? Do you understand? What does it mean? Let's start from there in a very relatable manner.
Okay, so chat GPT is a conversational chatbot.
Okay,
it's an AI chatbot, and chat GPT is a conversational chatbot.
Okay,
GPT, generative pre-trained transformer. Generative is a generative AI tool.
Is that the latest innovation in AI?
Well, I'm getting there. GPT transformers are actually the latest innovation in AI in language models.
Okay.
Transformers using the transformer technology.
Okay.
So generative pre-trained transformer. So generative, it's a generative AI. Pre-trained, you train it.
Okay.
Though there are
through a process,
you train it, with data set, with a large volume of data set.
Okay.
Like, for example, so when you train with a large volume of data set, it's called it's a foundation model. Like, for example, ChatGPT is a foundation model. Foundation model meaning that you can actually build models from that foundation model. You can through the process of fine-tuning.
The world is yet to witness greater inventions.
The thing is that you can fine-tune that language model to what you want it to do. For example, if I have if I want to use it as a from customer service, as a customer service agent, then I'll need to train it with my own knowledge base, my company's knowledge base, so that when a customer asks a question, the language model would just pull up an answer from the knowledge base, the company's knowledge base that's been trained on. Okay. So that you eliminate the possibility, what we call hallucination and all of that. So we just pull up from there what is most relevant to the question the customer is asking. That's a foundation model. We also have Google has what we call Vertex Model Garden, where you can literally build your own language model.
Okay.
So you can literally build your own language model from scratch at Google Language Model Garden. We also have even Google itself has even brought up some kind of an upgrade to BART, which is called it was actually launched yesterday, by the way. It's called Gemini. It's going to be.
I think I saw that.
Yes. Gemini. It's going to be ridiculously revolutionary. I saw. You can literally. It's very conversational. You can literally speak to it. You can literally. It can actually recognize images. Just of recent, it's just of recent that ChatGPT was able to recognize images and all that and all of that. But this one, it can actually recognize images. Okay. There is also even Duet AI. It's an AI tool that can allow you to compose messages. For example, if you open an email, someone sends you an email, you don't have time to really write a reply. You just with Duet AI can actually help you to do that. It's actually integrated into Google Workspace. So people that have Google Workspace have access to Duet AI. So there are a lot of tools. You have Microsoft has Bing AI.
I think we should have a series where we talk about these tools in depthly.
Yes, I'm just mentioning them just so you know the gamut of. I talked about a tool that can literally attend meetings for you. You have AI tools that can attend meetings for you, summarize and give you action points that you're to work with.
For the benefit of our viewers, we are going to have all these tools. Now, we are not going to talk about them only. We are going to also see we'll show people how to use them. Okay. And the importance and how they can make their life very easy. So that the world is evolving rather, in a very fast pace. And Africa needs to meet up from what I'm seeing, despite our challenges. So on your last word before we go, your last words on AI and cybersecurity.
Well, what I would say is that AI is like the best thing since sliced bread. A lot of AI, cybersecurity companies are integrating AI. For example, Splunk.
Mm.
Splunk is integrating AI. Splunk is actually now being bought over by Cisco. But in fact, the reason why Cisco is literally going is that they want to, that's the easiest way of integrating AI into their suite of services. So AI is, security professionals should not run away from AI. Oh, it will take my job. Actually, they should think about mastering, getting the skill to leverage AI to do their jobs better, faster, and more efficiently. Because it's when you deliver results that you are going to, get the job done. And they should, security professionals should also know that the guys on the other side, the attackers, are leveraging these tools. So if you don't leverage the tool, imagine you,
and there is no means to regulate
someone else with a gun, a sophisticated gun, and you are with a machete. You know that the other guy will definitely defeat you. So you have to also leverage more of the tools, of the AI tools, to be able to ensure that you keep your company data, your data set, your information assets safe from attackers.
On that note, we'll come to the end of today's episode of Clockwise, sponsored by Netisens ICT. My name is Providence Essien, and do not forget that the illiterate of the 21st century are not those who did not go to school or those who will not go to school, but they are those who will not evolve as their environment is evolving. See you next week.